We're being represented by men who are kowtowing to minorities where they can get votes. And I think it's bad for our country. And I am sad to see minorities make so much of themselves as a hyphenated American. I wish they'd all get to thinking that they're Americans as they should, and as they have luckily been born here and couldn't be better off in any other place. There shouldn't be so much whining and bellyaching.
In the late 60s and early 70s, there was a period of considerable change. Civil rights for blacks, equal rights for women. Has this made America a better place?
I am saddened by the fact that although we were a matriarchy, I think we will not be any longer. I think opening doors and tipping your hat to ladies is probably a thing of the past. The forerunners of the women's liberation of today have taken that feeling away from the average American man.
But what about the civil rights? I mean, it's necessary.
What about the civil rights?
Well, we have 20 million blacks on this continent.
Right.
It was necessary to extend rights to them that perhaps for the first 199 years were denied them in this free America.
I guess that they've had a pretty tough break, but not quite as bad as you and your do-gooder friends would have them believe. They live as well here as they live in any other country over that 199 years. True, I think they do have a right to more rights, but it isn't a thing where the rest of the country should feel terribly guilty about anything because they have had a better life here and their fathers and mothers than they would have had any place else. And I want to see them have everything. I don't squawk and cry baby and say, geez, I had to go without meals when I was 16 and 17 years old. It's a terrible thing. I don't think that you should look back and whine and bellyache or try to hold somebody else guilty for everything you did.
Go ahead and say all of that wild shit online, man. You might need a Dr. Phil if you catch me outside. And I will not apologize if you ain't one of mine, fam. I cannot afford to give a fuck if it was finance.
Everything woke turns to shit.
All right, mother factors, welcome to Fact You, a show that can give a fact. I want to give a shout out to all my Fact You crew out there, the FUK. I'm one of your hosts, Ray Hazen. With me, as always, you know who he is.
Jason, the man, Jason.
Well, you got two, like your first name, yeah, Jason, the man, Jason. You know, I was just saying the other night when I was at the bowling alley that I'm thinking about changing my middle name to Of, so I will be Raymond of Hazen.
I was reading this thing the other day about how referring to yourself in the third person is supposed to create a artificial intimidation reaction to people that you're speaking to. And I just tried it and it totally failed. I got to practice on that shit.
Oh, there's my water. You know, because I was kind of thinking, like, you know, back in the old days, like, you know, like the old English days and stuff, like even like Robin of Locksley, you know, like fucking, they'd say your name and where you're from, you know.
Raymond of Hazen. Totally,
yeah,
dude.
Raymond of Hazen.
Yeah.
Right? I dig that. Dig that, bro. And then if I do that established titles, bro, I could be Lord Raymond of Hazen.
If you get that 1 foot by 1 foot square, I think it's only like $40, bro.
Oh yeah, they're super cheap, dude. Yeah, they're like, I was looking. I actually checked this out. Honestly, it's not happening this year, but that was my plan when I still had that little job for a minute there. I was going to, you, Morgan, both my brothers, me, and Drake. I was going to get all of us, Drake, me, you, my brother, everyone, Morgan. I was going to make us all lords, and it was only going to be like 200 like fucking $40 or something for everybody, you know?
I think you could do it with stars too, dude. So you could actually have your own galaxy and shit.
Yeah,
so
you can.
Would that make you Star Lord? I don't know.
Who is arguably one of my favorite characters, and like I've always said, if I could be anyone, I'd want to be Star Lord, just to be kidnapped by some aliens and blast around the galaxy, fucking fighting shit. Oh,
Did you
so
see
badass.
Did you see the trailer I shared of the Disney Plus special that they're doing?
Oh, the
Guardians of the
Gun
Galaxy?
Galaxy. Yeah, I've been waiting for it.
Oh, that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, and then they got one more movie, and then I guess that's it for them. They'll be done.
Anyway,
we'll start getting into it. Hey, so I want to start out. Did you see this meme? Of course you did. You're the one that sent it to me. I want to share this meme with everybody. The one, look at this thing right here. Go ahead and look up to the monitor, and you guys will see it.
this one's for you, and you, and you, and you. A Buddha 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 Ba.
You got what is it? You got a sack of potatoes talking to what a
Corn Pop.
a corn pop? Yeah. Shubba dubba dog, go burgeoner. Chicken bite corn missile dog. That's about how that conversation probably would go. I got to say it. That is hilarious, dude. When you said that to me,
I love how he's embracing him. He's like, oh,
right?
Chicken corn dog, pocket chaka. You know, I laughed so hard I almost fucking pissed, dude. I was fucking cracking up.
I got to admit, Fetterman's probably lucky he doesn't have hair, or Biden would be sniffing it right then. But then again, I'm surprised he ain't leaning in sniffing the beard.
Well, that tastes like food, not people.
Maybe that's what he just got done sniffing the beard, and that's what it smells like. Chicken bite corn dog missile. All right, isn't that what it was?
Yeah.
That's chicken bite corn missile dog. That's what his beard smells like. Chicken bite corn missile dog.
Well, son of a bitch. Mystery solved.
All right. Well, I thought today we'd start out. Well, we both did. We discussed this. You know that. Talking about a few things that we're thankful for, since we're heading into that time of the year. We should discuss things we're thankful for, not just everything that drives us crazy or scares us, but things that happened in this last year that we are grateful for. Do you want to take off and read off some of your list first, or do you want me to go first?
I need some popcorn for this, man.
Ooh, that reminds me. You're right. Hold on. I got my popcorn too. Hope everybody got the popcorn ready. I got that buttery kettle stuff. Right there in that bowl. Oh, it's spilling.
I popped this. That's what took me so long to get ready.
I know. I popped this from scratch myself. Oh. Like that. All right. So, who's reading first? You or me?
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead.
I am really thankful. I'm really thankful that Nancy Pelosi publicly announced that she will not seek the speaker again. Now, a bunch of different shows we could do about that, but just that one thing I'm very thankful for. God damn, it's about time. But she's not going to retire. Maybe next year, folks.
Hopefully. She needs to. Honestly, she should be sitting on a porch next to Biden with a blanket over her lap and her husband, and they should all be watching like Matlock reruns. And, like, that's what they should be doing.
She's never going to retire, bro. She's going to die in office. I can almost guarantee it. I'd be willing to bet the fucking farm on that one.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of like Hillary. Hillary's always going to be out there fighting for something.
Or just like Ruth.
Yeah, just like Ruth.
Fucking hag would not step down, dude.
Crazy fucking Democrat women. You know what? That was number 5 on my list. I couldn't help but be more thankful for that, too. I mean, it's about time. Actually, I honestly just wish all the Pelosi, anyone related or associated with the Pelosi, would just step out of office.
Well, that would be good for California too. But
yeah,
what's your number one thing?
Well, it's not my number one. It's just the first thing on my list, you know.
Fair enough.
And I think my number one would probably be number 10, so I'm kind of like saving the best for last. But Stacey Abrams losing for a second time. I love it. I can't stand that racist, race-baiting woman almost as much as I can't stand Maxine Waters.
Isn't she? I was just gonna say that. Isn't she like Maxine Waters Jr.? Like
Yeah,
light?
she's Maxine Waters light for sure. But for those who don't know, she's the one a few years ago. You know, even though the Democrats never say that they contest elections, they never say elections were stolen from them. Even though Hillary did. Fucking, we can go back down the list. I think Carter did. Fucking, anyway. She said that the election was stolen from her. She was for 2 years. She said she was the rightful governor of Georgia, even though she wasn't. And then this year, 2 years later, she runs and loses again. I love it. I'm so grateful for Georgia. Good for you. And I don't live there.
Was that Herschel Walker's state, or was
Yeah.
that Alabama?
Yeah,
No, it was Georgia, wasn't
that's
it?
Herschel's. Yeah,
Oh.
but they're Herschel's running for Senate, not governor, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Stacey Abrams losing again. I'm thankful for that. No, I don't want to hear any more from that bitch.
Sit down and shut the fuck up! God damn it!
All right, your turn, buddy. What's next?
First of all, I guarantee you will hear more from her.
Oh yeah.
But my number 2 on my list, I am thankful, and I think once again you could bet the farm on this. AOC Miss Cortez will never ever 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 be Speaker of the House, because I had a fucking nightmare about that the other day, and I woke up. I was like, there's no way that could happen. Maybe in a parallel universe. That's about it.
I mean,
She's on the borderline of getting voted out. I think her election is on the next cycle.
you know what? I got her and them on my list too. Should I wait for it, or should I just go ahead and hit it now?
Do it.
Alrighty, where's it at? My number 9 on my list. I'm very thankful that I haven't heard much of shit from the squad in a few months, because they're too busy bickering amongst themselves and with Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what happens with the leftist wolf mentality, cancel, eat everyone mentality. There comes a point where they'll start turning on each other and eating their own, you know?
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah.
And that's precisely what's happening right now.
Oh,
and I couldn't be happier about it. You know, I hope they're all gone. I hope they all go away.
Well, what's really blessed is that, like, people are starting to fucking notice it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And I'd like to say it's our show has a hand in helping people notice that too.
Amen, brother. Amen.
All righty. So what's your next one, bud?
Well,
man, dude, this is some good fucking corn, bro. Have you tried the corn, dude? Man, you guys gotta try this corn, dude.
I put a half a stick of butter on this, and some spicy salt that I have in my stash. Ooh,
yeah,
it's so good. It's a Trinidad Scorpion sea salt.
Ooh,
fucking hot, dude. It's nice. I didn't overdo it. I did it just right. Either that or my mouth's just used to it. I don't know. So, anyways, number 3 for me was kind of the same thing as yours. I'm really thankful that, like, the truth is starting to get out there about mainly about the jab. You know, we're seeing a lot of stuff in the headlines, but starting to see stuff in the headlines about Mikey Carteritis or whatever the fuck it's called.
Myocarditis.
Yeah, and a few other side effects. We're noticing that people have it, still catch the fucking bug. So people are starting to learn that mask never worked. I mean, I'm really thankful. I feel really vindicated that this information's starting to come to light. You know what I mean? Because I've been saying it for years. I was just like, you can smell my fart through my underwear, and you think COVID's gonna fucking get stopped by your little cloth mask?
Yeah. Go ahead and look it up, people, if you're not sure what myocarditis. It's a heart condition that mostly young people were getting who got the vaccine. But a lot of people who are getting the vaccine have been coming down with a heart condition called myocarditis. And healthy young children, teenagers,
are dying.
Are dying from
Even
this.
even like they approved it for like 5-year-olds and up, dude. And there's like 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds dying and shit.
Did you see the Walgreens commercial? It's pure propaganda. It's all voiceovers. It's got a dad and a daughter. They're adults sitting there. He's like, how many vaccines have you given? As they're like playing Jenga or cards or something. And fucking, she's like, me personally, thousands, but Walgreens, millions. And then it goes to this guy going, he's sitting there like tying his daughter's ice skate. And he's like, miss my daughter's competition? That wasn't even a possibility or something like that. But thanks to Walgreens, I won't miss anything, right? And each people, you keep seeing the Band-Aid on the shoulder as he's doing it. So he got a shot to protect his like 6-year-old daughter from something that doesn't affect her. Then it gets worse. The last scene is this like 5-year-old, 4-year-old little boy and his voiceover as he's running carrying a book going, I got a shot so my little sister or I got it so my little sister won't get sick. And he runs over to like a fucking infant in a seat. So the kid who is not at risk of it at all got a shot to protect a child who's not at risk of it at all. And like, what are you gonna do? Give it to the I know I'm saying like a lot again. What are you gonna do? Give it to the fucking infant next? Like, come on, give me a break, dude. When are people gonna realize that this shit was pushed for financial reasons, dude? That's the only reason why they only want to make everyone get the shot because they make money off it, man.
I mean, I think we could delve a little bit deeper there. It actually started because this shit technically was and we've done a show on this actually, not much more serious than SARS. Came out like 5-10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Same, almost the exact same thing. Actually, not quite as bad.
Right.
And actually, it's just a variant if you want to go, but that's another show. But my point is, what it was the left used this as a fucking cudgel against the Trump administration. And they were like, oh, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Oh, it's a pandemic, and Trump's not doing anything. So Trump was like, all right, I want to get some vaccinations. Here they come in 6-9 months.
Which, of course, everyone said can't happen faster than 5 years. And he said, fucking watch me. But here's the thing.
And he did. He totally delivered. Not on just one. He had like 3 of those motherfuckers.
I know. But here's the thing that the pros and cons of it, too, is he did get the vaccine out. And the vaccine did help a lot of people. But, and once again, like I said, I'm not anti-vax. I'm anti-vaccine for me. You get what I'm saying? Me, I don't even get the flu shot. And guess what? I don't get sick. But some people might, if you got a autoimmune deficiency, if you don't have a great immune system, if you overweight, if you're diabetic, if you're old, these are all things that, okay, I could see you. Makes logical sense,
Only people that really have to worry about it is people with respiratory issues.
True.
True. Smokers, emphysema.
Right.
Super asthmatics.
Asthmatics, yeah, for sure.
Like super asthmatics, not just somebody like, oh, I have an inhaler I use 4 times a month.
Someone I would call a hazmatic.
Right. So anyway,
yeah. So I agree with you 100%. Here, my turn. Let's keep moving. Let me pick one from my list. Well, let me go ahead and get this one out of the way since I got it right here in my hand. As a matter of fact, I'll do a little dabber to celebrate. Missouri legalized weed.
Let's celebrate.
So that is something I'm exceptionally grateful for. I absolutely love it.
So it's official now. They counted all the votes.
Yeah, it's official. It is in, and February 8th is the day that it goes into effect.
Hey,
So-
is this a leap year? I think you get one extra day of pot smoking. I think
Is it a leap year?
2020. I think 2024 is a leap, or 23 is a leap year. I have to
Alexa.
look now.
Is 2023 a leap year? I couldn't hear her. Could you?
No.
Let me turn her up a little bit. Alexa, is 2023 a leap year?
The next leap year is 2024.
2024. All right, everybody, you heard it here first.
That just means we get an extra day of Trump.
Yeah, true, because it'll be right after he takes office. Woo! Which we'll get to in a minute. All right, go ahead, buddy. You got anything next, or you want me to do another one real quick? Because I know you only got 6.
Yeah, I got 2 more, and one of them is, I believe, yours, and we'll do those together.
Okay. Here, I got another one I'll throw out real quick.
All right.
I no longer live in California.
Fucking commies.
That's something I'm very grateful for. I don't have to worry about those bullshit ass policies and the insanity of it, and I don't have to worry about all the transgender shit. And matter of fact, we're gonna discuss something with that in one of our segments here in a minute. Yeah, I'm just extremely ecstatic for that. And you know what? I'm also really happy and thankful for Matt Walsh. You know, for being who he is, standing up the way he does, for standing up and battling this transgender insanity, for standing up for protecting the children from the chemical castration and mutilation that's just rampantly going around. Do you know they're about to ban that?
It's shit that's irreversible. Like
irreversible.
I'd be like, all right, fine. You want to wear a dress? Wear a dress.
And matter of fact, we're going to get into that with what the New York Times said in segment 1 here in just a second. But yeah, you know, it's just insane. And Matt Walsh is definitely standing up for that to help us out.
Popcorn's good, man.
I know popcorn's so good. You've only got 2 more, right? So hold on, let me see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 more. So let me keep going real quick. All right, here's another little small one. I'm really thankful that Elon finally went through and bought Twitter.
Amen.
Not that I technically use Twitter or ever really have, nor am I like totally said yes, now I'm gonna, but I'm contemplating it now. What I'm thankful for behind it is because even though he's not a total conservative like people want to think or say he is, he's definitely more centrist, but I would probably say he leans a bit liberal if you want to know the truth.
But he's not militant like the rest of them. You know?
What he is he does believe in free speech. He does believe that 2 sides have to discuss. He didn't become the richest man in the world because everyone around him just agreed with him. There's someone around him that said, no, we should try this. No, we should try that. You know what I'm saying? That made him think. Yeah. Because when you have conflicting opinions and ideas, it makes you think more and try to find other avenues and resolutions.
Well, that's how great things are made, bro. You know,
exactly.
It's it's the whole melting pot theory behind our fucking republic. You know, you take 15, 50, 1,000, 1,000,000, however many people that think they have good ideas, and you throw them all together. And when you get out, you get all the shit ideas out of one end and all the good ideas out of the other. I mean, that's kind of like the utopian dream this country was based on. You know?
That's right, dude. You take the good, you take the bad.
You take them both, and there you have
the facts of life, baby.
Put Natalie in there. Boing.
You should see what we got at the record store. 3 bongs.
I don't know that group. Are they punk rock?
No, it's not a musical group. Look here. Bong. Bong. Bong.
The facts of life. The facts of life.
Oh, that was great. That was great. Alrighty, here's my least controversial of the 2. That's another reason, or the 3. That's another reason why I left these 3. I am extremely excited and happy and thankful that CNN finally got new leadership and they're revamping their network, and they fired the likes of Cuomo and Mr. Potato Head Brian Stelter. I'm extremely...
Shit, hold on.
What?
Oh, man. I started pushing buttons. Hold on. Son of a fucking bitch.
What'd you do?
There we go. Are we still recording?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. I was pushing buttons, dude. There was this window and it was fucking with me. And I tried to get rid of it and shit happened. Brian Stelter.
Yeah. I'm extremely thankful and happy for CNN getting new leadership, new ownership, and the new ownership is moving away from all the fucking lies, because CNN is the communist news network.
Fucking commies.
And all they do is feed propaganda and lies. I can't remember the last time I've heard anything truthful said on CNN. Like, I really can't. And spearheaded by the likes of people like Andrew Cuomo. Or no, Andrew was the governor. Chris Cuomo, that's the brother. Which, mind you, that's another thing. Can I just say, I'm really grateful that there's no more fucking Cuomo running New York. Good for New York. even though New York's still a shithole and cesspool, and they're running it like fucking idiots anyway still. But still, you know, no more Cuomo's mafioso ass in there trying to, you know, run things. But yeah, CNN, getting rid of those idiots. And can I just go ahead and say, Don Lemon, you're lucky you're black and gay, because if you weren't those two things, your ass would have been fired too. You wouldn't have just been moved to a morning show. You wouldn't have lost your prime time and been moved to a morning show. That's what you get for being black and gay. You get to keep your job, just at a different time slot.
But he's
probably for less pay
he's
too.
oppressed,
Yeah. He is oppressed for sure. While the likes of Stelter and Cuomo get fired, but which they should have been.
Oh yeah.
But they're white, and so they can be. And that's the thing. Lemon should have been fired too, but because he's black and gay, he doesn't have to be. Alrighty, I'm down to my last two. Go ahead, buddy. Your turn. Kick it off.
For my number two, I am really, really thankful for my family and my blessings by God. You know, I have two wonderful children. An excellent wife, got a roof over my head, got food in the fridge, and I'm really thankful for that.
That should be something to be thankful for sure. You know what? Now that you made it, it wasn't on my list because I was just going news and politics and shit wise. But you know what? You're right. I'm gonna go and throw that out. I'm really thankful for my buddy Derek and the people that I live with, and for Morgan Rector. Like, I'm super thankful for them, and you, buddy, for sure. You know, my close friends, Kevin Sykes, you know, even though he's never really, yeah.
Well, when you get a hold of him, he's cool.
He'll sit there and talk to me for 3 hours if I need to, you know, and on the phone.
Absolutely.
And he will. So yeah, but, you know, I mean, Derek's provides a home for me over here, and, you know, fucking help me get back on my feet over here. Well, not back on my feet over here, just help me begin my process over here.
Yeah, when I was making my list, you know, and originally I said we do 10, you know, and I got like 3 or 4 in it on politics, and I was like, you know, that shit's, I mean, it is important and stuff, but there is something that's more important than that, and I appreciate that we got to take a minute to recognize that, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people don't have. You think you're poor, dude, but you're not. You know, you think shit's rough, dude, but you have no idea. There's, you know.
Hey, no matter how rough you think you got it, I promise it can get worse.
Unless you're herding goats in the middle of the Sahara, Well, actually, there's probably some fucking goat herder that doesn't have any goats to hurt. So, I mean, there's always someone that's got it worse.
Exactly, bro. There's always somebody got it worse, dude. I wonder who, because that only goes so far until you reach that one, like that 7.5 billionth person who actually knows.
Like nobody has it worse.
Nobody has it worse than this guy, dude.
Why don't they have a Guinness Book World Record for that?
Right,
shit?
right.
Oh, people would be tripping over themselves to fucking get that title.
Like I kind of, you know what I kind of picture, and I don't mean to talk shit because I know there's probably people that have it worse than this guy, but I kind of picture, I have no legs. You remember that guy? Remember the guy on the skateboard in the fucking subway sliding down it, and he's dude. But yeah, and real quick, because it all ties in the same way, is like the kid, like my son. I'm grateful for him. Your kids, Derek's kids.
My kids are healthy. They're doing good.
Kevin's kids, Shane. Like all my kids out there, dude. I'm really grateful for all of them too, because you're what it's for. You're what the whole point is.
What it's all about. Yeah.
And you're the reason why people like me and you, Jason here, and others will always stand up and yell, "No, this is right. No, this is wrong." And I don't do it for my sake. I don't give a fucking shit, bro.
Well, it's a little late for us, but with any luck, we might be able to help our kids or our kids.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. Totally.
Yep. Amen.
Which it's kind of funny. The kids kind of ties into my second to last, arguably the most controversial thing on my list that I'm thankful for, but it's the overturning of Roe v. Wade. More kids will be born now because of that. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And no one's going to be able to convince me that murdering unborn children is the more moral thing to do. Sorry.
I agree 100%. I could see the use for abortion in a very, very small fraction of instances.
Sure.
But the Roe versus Wade just allowed it like on a wholesale level across the country, and I think that was wrong. I agree that was murder, you know, and God help us, and God forgive this country for what they've done in that department.
Over 60 million babies have been murdered in this country since that was put into effect. 60 million.
Yeah, it rivals.
That's like communism.
It rivals genocide in the fucking Europe. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's
it does, and especially when you look at the statistics, and the demographics of like what communities were primarily served by this service of reproductive rights. It's really quite devastating. And
I mean, do people not realize that's almost 8 times as many people as Hitler and the Nazis killed? That's almost 8 times as many people. That's twice as many as Mao did. That's almost as much as all of communism killed throughout the history of it all, dude.
Fucking commies.
Like, that's insane.
No.
And yet it's
fucking sad.
Right.
Is what it is,
it's horrible, dude. It's horribly sad.
And as a voluntarist, I can understand, you can't, because what we're talking about right now is morals, basically.
Right.
And you can't force your morals on other people or on society. Well, I stand behind that 100%. Just hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where voluntarism comes into play, because I wouldn't want to associate with the society that allowed that to happen, and I don't have to. I'll go over to this other society that doesn't let that happen. I'll take my whatever, my knowledge, my trade, or whatever,
right, and I'll go make that society better through and that's the way it should be. It should be like that, if you don't like the laws of a certain country or the rules of a certain country, go somewhere else,
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying, though, is the whole voluntarism thing is like our country imposes a majority popular idea onto individuals, and it should be about individualism. Now, what I was saying about the moral, excuse me, got a popcorn kernel in my throat. Is that
You got a cock porn kernel in your throat.
I believe you can get me through the night.
Oh, you better edit that shit out.
Yeah, right. I'll put a big blurry
You're gonna put
eggplant right there or
sparkles and
something.
shit around it. I did that
No,
to myself.
Hey, maybe I won't have you doing the hand motion. I'll just freeze it right there like I do, and be like, and do like some sort of like Dreamweaver.
Oh, that's gold.
Right. All right. Anyway,
I totally fucking lost my thought train.
That's all right.
So anyways, abortion is bad. We both agree about that, but I was just pointing out that it's a moral thing, and I don't think my morals should be imposed on everybody else. I think others should be able to be free to do that. People with poor morals probably aren't going to live a very good life because they're most likely going to be socialists, and we all know what happens to them. So,
but okay, well, where I see the differentiation, and we'll just real quick because then we're going to keep moving because we got other shit to talk about.
Yeah.
Is it's more than just morals. We're talking about the life of some morals is like whether I will, pull my dick out on the bus or do I have sex with gay men, like that's morals and shit and values and shit. This is talking about the life and death of another living human being. And when there's alternatives that can be done to prevent that from happening, that's the thing. Like if there was no other alternative, if there was no such thing as adoption, if there was no such thing as contraception, if there was no such thing as abstinence from sex, if there was no such thing as getting fixed, then I would agree 100% abortion's right. But see, we have all those other avenues. You can abstain from sex. It just takes willpower. You can use contraception. If you do get pregnant, you can put them up for adoption. And I don't care what anyone says, being born and putting into the foster care adoption system is better than being dead. Okay, even though some kids on TikTok say, "Oh, I went through the foster care system and I would rather have been dead." No, you wouldn't have, you idiot. And then if you really don't want children, well, then I'm sorry, get fixed. Like that's it. You don't have to partake in that.
After the RVW turnover, I seen a lot of that from like the feminazis and stuff out there, and they were calling for males to be fixed. Did you?
Well, of course, it's always going to be the male.
Get a vasectomy. We should make all men get a vasectomy. It's reversible, and then nobody would get pregnant. And I was like,
I mean, they're not 100% wrong. It is reversible.
Right, but I mean, making somebody do it, that.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, making you, no, exactly, no, because then right there, we're not tiptoeing, we're stepping right into communism.
Fucking commies.
We're stepping right into forcing you to do shit,
exactly.
which is kind of the way they tried to go. They tried to do that with the vaccine, but good thing many of us said no, and we still have guns because if we didn't have guns, trust me, we would have been just like Australia. Okay, you got your last one.
My last one should have been my second to last, but
that's all right.
I elevated it to number one because I think we need to make America great. You know what I'm talking about.
Might be my number 10 too.
The Lord High exalted Trump threw his hat in for 2024. And the reason I put it as number one and not number two on my list is because I know if he's there, my family and my house and everything's going to be a whole lot fucking better than it is now. Because we're struggling, bro. I mean, I just went out and got bare bones menu for the next 14 days, and including Thanksgiving, and it was fucking. It was like $600, dude. That's fucking insane.
Insane, dude. Especially in
people
California.
People out in your parts pay that for rent.
Yeah. No, not. That's not an exaggeration. I was just looking a little while back at a 2-bedroom house for rent for $575. I saw a 4-bedroom, 4-bath apartment that allows pets for $998 a month. 4-bedroom.
So That's my number one thing. I am very thankful that Trump's going to at least try one more time.
Yep.
He got robbed last time, but he knows what happened, and he knows. I think things are going to be a lot different this time. And my thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family on his campaign.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And you know what? I'm over here pretty much close to the East Coast now. Like the only thing, like the Mississippi River is right on the other side of my state. You know what I'm saying? So I'm right over there. And I know that he does a lot of rallies and things up and down the East Coast. So,
fuck yeah.
Drake and I are already talking about hitting, especially like in North Carolina, which is where Drake lives. He does a lot in there too. So, Drake and I are planning on, because this summer, each summer he comes up. So this summer and next summer he'll be here. So when Trump starts doing his rallies during the summer, during those times, him and I are going to go hit a couple Trump rallies over here.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I can't wait.
Oh,
That's going to be so badass. It's going to be so badass.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was my.
It's actually you're taking your own safety in your hands if you go to them out here.
Yeah,
you'll get attacked.
Yeah,
that's how it was the last two times.
Yeah,
I doubt things will change any.
By the non-violent Antifa.
Yeah, or there was like 3 or 4 entities that like kind of worked together but independently of each other. But yeah, Antifa was at the heart of it, and they haven't gone anywhere. If anything else, they've embedded themselves more. So I'm ready to be vigilant. I hope everybody else out there is too.
Yep.
Because that might be what it needs, what it takes.
Don't be scared. Don't pick a fight, but don't back down.
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground. You got to treat them like a bear. Just get bigger. Which is easy for people like me and you to say because we're tall, we're big, but whatever. but just swell up like a pufferfish.
Insert SpongeBob meme right there.
Oh, that's it. I don't care anymore. This isn't worth it.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick little intermission and we'll get into our next topic.
I was thinking, these fucking cancel culture kids, they, like everyone else in life, they're going to encounter real hardships eventually. People dying, chronic illness, maybe things like bankruptcy, becoming a victim of violent crime, all those terrible things that can happen to a person. How are they going to cope with all that if they can't even cope with words?
That's brilliant. Did you hear that?
I caught like the second half, but I didn't catch the first part.
Oh yeah, you might not be able to hear it because it is just through my phone. Here, let me try again. I'll put it right up next to the microphone.
I was thinking, these fucking cancel culture kids, they, like everyone else in life, they're going to encounter real hardships eventually. People dying, chronic illness, maybe things like bankruptcy, becoming a victim of violent crime, all those terrible things that can happen to a person. How are they going to cope with all that if they can't even cope with words?
Still have a hard time hearing it?
No, I heard that. Okay. I got it all.
Okay. So anyway, all right, we're back. Let's get into topic number 1, which
New York Times.
Right? I know I sent you this link. Okay, so the New York Times just came out with an article the other day talking about and admitting the dangers of puberty blockers. Where's the link? Here it is. They paused puberty, but is there a cost? And it's just this article that New York Times wrote. You get down here into the meat and potatoes of it. Let me see if it'll fucking load. Oh my god. Now it's not going to let me fucking look at it for free.
So
apparently you can't look at their articles for free too much. Fucking New York Times.
Hold on, I'm there. Just give me a second. Give me a second. You've already reached your limit. No. I guess I don't.
That's what mine says.
Oh, fuck them. I'm not going to pay to subscribe to that fucking rag.
No. All right, here's an article from the Red State covering the fact that they said it. What, can I not read the whole fucking thing here either? The fuck, people? Why don't people just post the news anymore, man?
Because everybody's got to get paid, man, except for us.
Yeah, right. We're the only ones who do it for free, bro. Here we go. Fox News will probably fucking tell us. New York Times story on puberty blockers fuels critics and amid trans debate. Decade late on the story. Oh, there's a little. Here's a video.
A decade late.
Sign by halting the hormones. There are medicines you can take to delay puberty for a while. They're called puberty blockers, and they work like a stop sign by halting the hormones testosterone and estrogen that cause puberty changes like facial hair growth and periods. Puberty blockers are safe and can give you more time to figure out what feels right for you, your body, and your gender identity.
Oh my God, just to get a sense of who Planned Parenthood really is targeting, puberty can start as early as age 8 for some girls and 9 for boys. Joining me now is Dr. Jeanette Neshwat, board-certified family and emergency medicine physician. She's also a Fox News contributor. Dr. Neshwat, your response to this Planned Parenthood push, it's a push for puberty blockers.
Hey Laura, so this morally corrupt video, it's deceptive and it's medically unsafe. And what it's doing is it's luring in these vulnerable children, pushing puberty blockers on them, all the while bypassing their parents who have the right to be informed of the health and well-being of their child. You know, when it comes to gender dysphoria, if I have a patient struggling with it, the first thing I do is I take a history, I take a physical, I then recommend therapy and counseling. We don't jump to medications and hormones and drugs, which ultimately the goal is to lead to surgery. The first thing we do is we recommend psychotherapy with the involvement of the parents. You know, Laura, your prefrontal cortex, this is a part of your brain that helps you make rational decisions. And yet organizations like Planned Parenthood want children, and even the American Academy of Pediatrics want children to make decisions on their own. Well, this part of your brain that helps you make decisions isn't fully developed until you're about 21. And this is why we don't let children pilot airplanes and we don't let kids drive, because, you know, they're just not mature enough to make these decisions that could be life-changing and life-altering, yet we want to allow them to make decisions on gender transition at such an early age. It's ludicrous, it's immoral, and it's unethical.
And in some cases, it can lead to permanent sterility. We've had guests on the show that have documented that.
Right. The New York Times is facing blowback from across the political spectrum over its report delving into the political consequences of puberty blockers, which has some critics slammed the paper for finally acknowledging the concerns that are on the long-term effects they have on children, while others are accusing the Times of transphobia. They could pause puberty, but is there a cost? The Times asked in its headline. That was the one we were trying to read, but we got to pay to read it now because I've already read it, so apparently I can't read it again. Puberty blockers can ease transgender use anguish and buy the time to weigh options, but concerns are growing about the long-term physical effects and other consequences. The Times reported, here, this was the part that I wanted to read. As the number of adolescents who identify as transgender grows, drugs known as puberty blockers have become the first line of intervention for the youngest ones seeking medical treatment. Their use is typically framed as a safe and reversible way to buy time to weigh the medical transition and avoid the anguish of growing into the body that feels wrong. But as an increasing number of adolescents identify as transgender, in the United States an estimated 300,000 ages 13 to 30, and an untold number who are younger. Yeah, check this out. So I just learned this writing my paper. One of the things there was, of the Gen Z, the younger group, right, the new ones coming around, half of them, 50% have been diagnosed with mental illness, and 70% of them identify as a gender other than the one they were assigned with at birth.
50% or 70% of the 50%, or no,
70% of the whole. 70% of whole, yeah, are identify as transgender.
Now, Dr. Neshwat, Montgomery County, Maryland, it's the state's largest school district, is reporting a drastic increase among gender non-conforming students, a 582% increase between 2019 and 2021. Now, the idea that we're underestimating acute gender dysphoria by 600% in 2 years is absurd on its face, is it not?
Yeah, this is not a peer-reviewed study, number one, and this is the exact reason why doctors recommend, good doctors who understand the oath to do no harm, recommend first step therapy and counseling, because a lot of it could be underlying anxiety and depression and PTSD. That is the root core that must be acknowledged first.
And it's suggestive selling in some cases as well. Yeah. Doctor, thank you. Great to see you tonight.
And 50% of them, of the whole, have been diagnosed with mental disorders.
You know, I would just like to take a second to ponder the question. Why is nobody talking, why don't we see anything about people exploring or discussing why these kids feel that way? And instead of just letting them do what they want, because, you know, anybody else out there that's a parent knows that the first thing you want to do is let your kid do whatever the fuck they want, right? Why is nobody discussing or exploring why these kids feel this way?
Well, you got to understand, a majority of kids today are being raised by single moms. And without sounding like a sexist, but then again, most of the things I say kind of can sound sexist. Single moms, a lot of them are not very mentally balanced, and a lot of them like to play victim cards. And when you have a child with issues and problems, you have a victim card. Check this out. When I was at court fighting for Drake, when she was trying to take him to move to North Carolina, and we were fighting it, dude, she was there with like 6 of her friends and support members and all this stuff. And I'm standing outside the courtroom while the judge is inside talking to Drake, and I'm on the other side of the fucking waiting room, but I can hear all these women sitting around talking about all their kids, and every one of them has some sort of issue, some sort of medical condition. They got to see therapy. They're on this medication. They're all discussing it. And I'm sitting there going, that can't be. What's the common denominator in all these situations? You women. You guys are all putting these things into your children's head because you're making them feel certain ways because you want the victim card. You can get extra aid if you have kids that are disabled. You can everyone. Oh, the poor woman's guy. Drake has a therapist and takes medication. No, Drake's got insane issues a few issues going on because you're fucking insane. You know, and that's what it is just the world, and all these kids have been told they've got these problems and issues by their mothers who are trying to rationalize and justify why these kids are acting out. And the main reason why they're acting out is because they don't have a dad present. And that's what the main reason is. You know, and that's a perfect segue into the other thing we were going to discuss today, you know, is the absence of the male role model, the father figure, the patriarch, whatever you'd like to call it, in today's family unit. Even a big, I think the keystone would be what you were just saying. You know, single moms, they don't need no man, and you know, you're lucky because at least yours does. At least you don't got to fuck a bunch of other baby daddies to deal with. She's just got yours. So you kind of hit the jackpot on dysfunctional. That's all I'm saying. She does have another. Oh.
This is a reminder. 420 smoke up.
420.
Alexa.
Yep. It's 420 Missouri time. Everybody smoke up. I think I'll do a little dabber. She does have the other kid with the other guy.
I forgot. I thought she only had him.
No, she did have another one,
but still, it's only one.
Even though the doctors said she shouldn't have kids, and that kid's really messed up now because she shouldn't have kids, but she did it greedily because, one, she was getting tired. Drake was getting older. She needed another baby. She needed more victim points. She needed all that. Dude, the doctors told her she shouldn't have kids. I was in the room when he did it. But he doesn't want anything to do with the kid. He signed all his rights away. He didn't care. He didn't want nothing to do with it or her. So
maybe it wasn't quite the jackpot, but you only, you know.
Damn it.
A lot of people out there, they got to deal with some crazy bitch that has his kid, and she had 2 kids when you got together with her from some other dude, and then she had another kid afterwards and shit. So, the struggle is real. And I propose that it directly correlates.
Yeah.
Thank you. Multipass. With the breakdown.
Big bada boom.
Big bada boom.
Can I just admit how sexy she was in that scene in that movie right there? Oh my God, a young Jovovich.
I don't even think she's that attractive, but in that movie she is
not any
hot.
Yeah, definitely no. She aged like a fine piece of leather. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
But back then, oh my God.
Anyway, don't distract me.
Yeah.
With that stuff.
Single fathers.
What was I talking about?
We're talking about single fathers and motherhood and shit.
Oh yeah. So, a lot of chicks there's single motherhood's very, very rampant. And in today's society, and that creates another socio-economic struggle within itself.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm trying to focus on is the lack of a masculine entity within those children's life. It reflects on the society we have today. Now, the war on drugs and all that, prohibition and stuff like that doesn't help at all either. Government getting involved with production and industry doesn't help either. And what they do is they'll regulate something, and it'll affect a huge population of people. And so now you have all these poor people that need help. And I digressed. That's not what I was talking about. I'm sorry.
No,
I went down the rabbit hole, man.
Yeah, you did.
So, anyways, yeah, the lack of masculinity in the household.
Well, here I got some stuff to chime in on that for you, because I literally just got done taking a very useless, needless class that shouldn't even be taught, sociology. And so my final term paper that I had to write for my sociology class, the topic that I ran with loosely, this wasn't my thesis, but loosely the topic was deviant behavior in children and men and children and adults, right? Because women are involved too. But deviant behavior, how it relates to the epidemic of lack of fathers in the home, and how the government incentivizes single motherhood through the welfare program. That was basically my topic. And throughout all my studying and research, wow.
I can't believe they gave you that topic, bro.
No, I created that topic. We were able to pick our own. I created that topic.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So they were like, pick a topic that has to do with, sociology and, society and shit. And tell me that doesn't. And I got direct understanding of all 3 of those phases, having been through them, lived through them, and part of most of it. But anyway, Here's some statistics that I found. This is actually, I'm reading from my paper, and I'm quoting from an article written by a man named Ron B. Palmer in 2017. And these are just a bunch of the statistics I took from it, and I crammed it all together in just a one little paragraph to add it, okay? Check this out.
Yeah.
2/3 of all children murdered by their mothers. Girls raised without fathers are more sexually promiscuous and more likely to end up in divorce. 70% of teen births occur to girls in single mother homes. 70% of high school dropouts, 70% of teen suicides, 70% of runaways, juvenile delinquents, and child murderers come from single mother homes. 63% of all youth suicide, 70% of teen pregnancies, 71% of adolescent substance abuse, 80% of all prison inmates, and 90% of all homeless and runaway children come from single mother homes. Children brought up in single mother homes are 5 times more likely to commit suicide, 9 times more likely to drop out of high school, 10 times more likely to be sexually assaulted, 10 times more likely to be abuse chemical substances, 14 more times likely to commit rape, 20 more times likely to end up in prison, and 32 more times likely to run away from home.
Yeah.
Oh, and very few children in transgender ideology brainwash communities come from homes where there's a strong father figure, if one at all.
Now, there could be something said about there being too strong of a father figure, but I mean that's
True.
like that movie American Beauty. But yeah, you just
those numbers should scare us.
You just said really fast what I went down the rabbit hole trying to say.
Yeah.
And you gotta, with that in mind, you gotta really like wonder. I mean, a rational mind has to ponder where's the dad? Where's the father?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In almost all these cases, none of them are there. And I go into all that, you know. And one of the reasons why I got into deviant behavior and went down the wrong roads I went in is because I didn't have anyone there steering me. I had to figure it out. That was the title of the Figure It Out. Same thing Lindsay told me she wants Drake to do is figure it out. And I'm like, no, children don't need to figure it out. They need to be guided. And when they get to the teens, the problem is children are now, they're bigger. They got their own opinions and ideas, and mothers, children need a healthy sense of fear and respect. And unfortunately, the average mother can't give them that, because once a kid becomes like 15 or 16, she can no longer whoop their ass. You get what I'm saying? And
yeah, totally.
Well, and not that you have to whoop their ass, because I'm not promoting child abuse, but you get what I'm saying? It's like my son knows that if he stood up and was like, "Fuck you, son," he can't beat me up. You know, his mom, he might be able to. You know, like he's bigger than her. You know, now your kid, on the other hand, is an exception to this rule. Because your kid's like 7'9".
Yeah, he's a giant. He's not 7'9", but yeah, he's
I know
a fucking giant.
It's a bit of that, right?
You know, and it's funny you mention that, because I did pull that card on my mom when I was like 14 or 15.
Yeah, you're not going to tell me what to do anymore.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't listen to you.
No, I was 15. It was when they got divorced. I was like, Dad's not here. What the fuck you gonna do?
Oh yeah. You know? Well, how often do you hear, well, you just wait till your mother gets home, I'm gonna tell her? Like, never. It's always, you wait till your dad gets home, I'm gonna tell him, because that's the healthy discipline. Mothers do a great job of rearing prepubescent children. They're great at it. Okay, even Lindsay did.
But once you hit like 8, 9 years old, everything's gone.
But definitely once puberty happens and the kids become very independent and borderline adults, young adults is what you can start calling them after puberty. They're becoming young adults. It takes more than a mom to corral them. It really does. And that's the thing. A healthy, strong dad teaches young men how to be and how to treat women, and he teaches women how men should treat them. And if either one of those lacks those two things, the man will go out and not know how to treat a woman, and then the woman will go out and pick that man because she doesn't know. You get what I'm saying? And
that's what she's seeing.
Right?
I think would be a little bit more accurate. But yeah,
that's another thing. Yes. So if either he's not there to teach him that, or they're teaching him the wrong shit by being that way, and so they learn that. Either they don't know. Well, in a lot of what it has to come down to is love. Like a lot of kids, especially teens, they want to hear "I love you" from dad, you know, and especially girls, especially little girls. And when I think we discussed this last week or on Straight from the Can, and when they don't hear that, when they don't hear that,
they get daddy issues.
Yes, and they go out and they're trying to find that, you know, and then the first person that comes along to tell them, they latch onto, and usually the first person, unfortunately, that comes along to tell them that is the wrong person, and that poor kid probably wasn't taught how to treat people anyway, you know. But so that, go ahead.
Yep, you're right.
Yep, yeah. And so that all is part of what it goes to, because like I said, with these transgender kids that they're trying to give the puberty blockers to, most of them are lacking positive, strong male guidance and leadership in their family. A lot of them have single mom. Like I just saw this article the other day.
It's not like they're they've just been lacking it, is what I wanted to point out. It hasn't been there. Maybe not since day one, but pretty damn close.
Right,
you know,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
And the problem is now you have a lot of the first generation of people like this are now adults, and they're trying to push it out more. So now it's becoming a front light. If it wasn't for the fact that, you know, a lot of newer kids or adults are trying to justify and rationalize their insanity and sick behavior, and the only way to do that is to make it normalized for children. I don't know, it's super weird. But anyway, I get most of them are almost all of them are lacking a father. But so the puberty blockers, back into that real quick, because this is where the story pointed out emerging evidence of potential harm on puberty blockers. Based on scientific papers and interviews with more than 50 doctors and academic experts around the world, a top concern is that the suppressing estrogen and testosterone during puberty impacts bone density, something that might not be able to recover. 2 studies show that bone density. Because that's the thing. They go, oh, we're just going to put puberty on pause. Do we not understand what happens during puberty? Bone density strengthens, our brain develops, our muscles start, all this shit, and you can't just put it on pause and then start it later. So anyway,
not only that, like your sense of balance and dude, there's a lot of more stuff.
Right, I know. While using blockers throughout the first years of sex hormone treatment, found that many do not fully rebound and lag behind their peers. They're talking about in the bone density. And this leads to more fractures. And here's the thing. Women already are more susceptible to bone fractures than men because they have weaker, more brittle bones. And that's another reason why...
I didn't know that. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I wouldn't say more brittle. They're just, the density isn't as sticky, strong. You know what I'm saying? They're not more brittle.
I'm going to remind Marie about that next time we're arguing.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I would never break my wife's bone.
I know. The time, let's see, what is this? Let's keep going. Where's that one part I was looking for? Oh, well, I can't find it now. But, like, I mean, the amount of things that this fucks up when you do this to someone developing is insane, And do people not get that nothing is 100% reversible? You go get your ear pierced and you take it out. Yes, it'll heal up, but guess what? There's going to be a little whole scar.
That scar is always going to be there.
Nothing in this world is 100% reversible. Like, it just isn't. You have to accept that, You go get a tattoo. I mean, you can have it laser removed, but there'll be a scar.
It's always going to be there.
Nope. All righty. So let's go ahead and get into our next topic here. It's our last topic before we get into our teabagging of the night. We're going to try to push through it because we're getting a little crunched on time, but this is from ABC7 News. San Francisco launches new guaranteed income program for transgender community.
A new pilot program launching in San Francisco will guarantee income for dozens of transgender people for a year and a half. Tonight, ABC7 News reporter Tim Johns explores this first-of-its-kind initiative for a community that is oftentimes left behind.
For some of the most forgotten people in our community, a lifeline could soon be coming from the city of San Francisco. On Wednesday, the mayor's office announced a new effort to combat poverty among transgender residents.
This is the first guaranteed income program for trans people in the country.
The initiative is called GIFT and will give 55 people $1,200 a month for 18 months. The program has been years in the making and is a partnership between local government, Lyon Martin Community Health Services, and the Transgender District. But activists hope the GIFT program is only the first step in helping a community in need. Statistics show that trans people suffer disproportionately from things like poverty, discrimination, and abuse.
The U.S. Transgender Survey, which is the only large-scale study of trans people in the United States, in 2015 found that 33% of trans people in California were living in poverty.
In order to qualify, individuals can be making no more than $600 a month. Applications for those potentially eligible are open through December 15th, with priority given to trans people of color, a focus that's welcomed by trans activists and San Francisco native Honey Mahogany.
I think that when we lift those people up, the people who are, at the bottom of the totem pole, then everyone benefits.
Mahogany says the city has long been a place of refuge for transgender people. She fears that as a wave of anti-trans legislation sweeps parts of the country, programs like these will become even more critical for people who simply have nowhere else to go.
It's really, really important that we figure out ways to welcome those folks who are coming here who have nowhere else to go and be able to help stabilize them and make sure that they don't end up on the streets.
In San Francisco, Tim Johns, ABC 7 News.
Yes, people, you heard that correct. San Francisco Mayor Lennon Breed announced the launch of a new guaranteed income program for the city's transgender community on Wednesday. The gift income for trans people, or the guaranteed income for trans people, or gift program, will provide low-income transgender residents with $1,200 each a month, up to 18 months, to help address financial insecurity within the communities.
Before we continue, just let me stop you right there, because I'm looking at the same article too, bro. $1,200 a month in San Francisco. You can't rent a fucking closet for $1,200.
No, of course not. No,
in San Francisco.
You're right.
So, and eating, what the fuck? I mean, what would you do with that $1,200? There's nothing to better yourself. You could save it up for 18 months.
Well, I mean, I imagine if they're making, it ain't going to be that you have to be zero. You just have to be low income. So there's going to be like some sort of line. Like over here in Missouri, it's $1,300. As long as you don't make over $1,300, you qualify for shit. So it's probably going to be something similar to that. But it'll probably be a little bit more because it's San Francisco. Probably be like, like $1,600 or $1,800 or something. If you make under that,
like $30,000.
Right. But here's the point that what irritates me and upsets me about it.
It's not going to be taxes you or I pay or grandma pays, because grandma doesn't live in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? But you will see it reflected probably in inflation, and the cost of living going up, because that money they're going to have to tax. They're going to have to tax something to get that money to do that. You know what I'm saying?
But let's also, and here, here's let's speculate here. We'll bring it back for the first time in a while. A little conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory. I mean, San Francisco, that's Nancy's city, bro. Who runs the state? Her nephew. He might give her some sort of there might be some sort of kickback going to that state, bro. Nancy's going to be like, they're going to bill us, dude. Gavin, you better do something. They're going to charge us, So you never know. They
I got you elected. Now it's time to pay.
There very well might be some sort of state kickback funding to help with that. You never know. But the other point, but you're right. Okay, so that makes a good point. It's the city thing. Their taxpayers pay for it. Okay, no big deal. My uncle does live in South City, but he does vote Democrat because he's part of a union and he just does what his union says. So he did vote these policies in, which I feel bad that he's going to have to pay it, but still they vote him in. But anyway, what really bugs me, and here we go, it's transphobia. No, it's not transphobia. It's anything like that. Okay, I'm only going to give this money to white people. I'm only going to give this money to black people. I'm only going to give this money to quadriplegics. You're isolating and singling everybody else out, dude. That is a form of, I don't know if I'd say racism, but that's like non-transphobia. That's like everybody else phobia, You can't just exclude, and it's like,
Pump the brake.
All right,
let me interrupt, please.
Go ahead.
I got to say this. So I was, as you were discussing very, very valid topics there, my friend. Mm-hmm. I scrolled on down on that link. The one we're talking about, it's ABC 7
Watch
news.com.
Yes.
So I scroll down a little bit further. So according to the, I don't know what that is. According to the program's website, applicants must meet the following qualifications, because we were just discussing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a wow in this one. You must be 18 years old. That's a good thing.
I'm seeing it.
Considering what we're discussing. Are you looking at it now?
Yep.
Identify as transgender, non-binary, gender non-conforming, or intersex. Now, I would really like to explore some intersex, but not live on the show today. I have no idea what that fucking is, but it just sounds awesome.
Hermaphrodite. That's the new PC term for hermaphrodite. They don't say that anymore. Intersex, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which it's funny how they lump them into their. You know why they do that, right? They do that as a justification to say that there's a third gender. When it's not a third gender, it's an abnormality based off the two genders. And realistically, hermaphrodites or intersex have a Y in their chromosome chain. And if we all remember how I stand, if there's a Y anywhere in your chromosome chain, you're a guy. I don't care what other parts you have.
Well
anyway,
the thing that caught my attention on this part of the article was that the non-binary. Doesn't non-binary can't like I say I'm non-binary?
Oh yeah, anyone can. Oh yeah.
So it's not actually for transgender people.
No. They are.
The second thing it says is it's for not identify as transgender, non-binary.
Yeah, but you got to remember that all of those things classify as transgender. They're under the transgender, because what that means is to be transgender, you identify as something other than the sex you were assigned with at birth. Doesn't mean that you identify as the opposite sex, man or woman. It means you identify as any sex or gender, I guess you could say, because they try to say those are two separate things. You identify as anyone different than the one you were assigned with at birth.
All right, so
technically those are all trans.
Right, but my point was that it's not actually transgender. It's because when I think transgender, I think somebody that has either had an addictomy or is about to have one. You know?
Oh yeah, you got to remember Dylan Mulvaney is a trans woman, and he's just a boy in a skirt.
Yeah. So
if you watch the new episode of Misadventures of Scoob Dad, you'll see we discuss his lady bulge in the episode.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, continue with the qualifications.
So they can't be getting more than $600 in a monthly income. So $1,206, $1,800. You can't find somewhere to live for $1,800 a month there. You can't even do it in Napa. There's no way you could do well, maybe in Napa, but And
you get a couple of them to rent a room together, you know.
Yeah. Like we were just saying also on the thing, it's like we figured you must reside in the city
or the county. They could probably find a place just outside the city.
It doesn't say or, it says and, city and county of San Francisco. And you have to check in every 3 months. So it kind of sounds stringent, but that whole ambiguity of non-binary just shows it for what it is.
But alrighty, let's go ahead and get to our final topic. Let's get to what everybody's come here for. Why you're all here today for the teabagging. Dip. All right, today we are teabagging, well, a certain demographic, I guess you could say. We are teabagging men who try to breastfeed their children. I don't know if people have been seeing this.
I can't believe that's really a fucking thing, dude.
It is really a thing. People have totally been trying to do this.
I like to have my nipples sucked on.
As much as the next guy, you know what I'm saying?
As much as the next guy, exactly.
Right? Like totally. Like who doesn't?
But not by an infant, you know?
No, dude, no. So I don't know if you've seen it, but a while back there was a viral video that went viral
Those
on.
motherfuckers have teeth too.
Yeah. But like it went viral on YouTube and some other things, and it's this transgender couple, and it's so funny. They say they're transgender couple, and they're having like they're having like queer sex or whatever, right? But he thinks he's a woman, and she thinks he's a man. So he's the mom, and she's the dad. They both go through their hormones therapies and all that. Okay, they have heterosexual sex because it's a man and a woman. There's a penis and a vagina. They identify as the opposite. So he got pregnant and had the baby, and he's the dad. She did the impregnation and is the mom. And there's a video of them, like, he's trying to talk about how the baby won't latch and it just won't breastfeed. Like, well, no shit, you're a man. Those are man boobs. There's no milk ducts in there. You're not producing anything.
Not only are we not assigning a sex to the baby, DC is forcing me to label myself as the mother, and that's not the case. Paterna is the mother.
This whole birth certificate thing is really causing me a lot of hurt. Trans women can be mothers.
Oh, I put it on here. The baby has been able to latch, but I've not been able to produce any milk.
Cause you're a dude!
Because we're gonna supplement the feeding with formula so that my baby's still getting the nutrients that they need, but I'm still feeling hopeful.
Well, then that was a while ago. So what came back to my attention the other day, and that's what I sent to you, Jason. There is I think it was just a clip. Actually, is what I sent you.
Yeah, I was just looking at it when you were talking.
Yeah, it's the Matt Walsh clip. It's real short, but anyway, this guy, it was on Reddit because it was just a Reddit post, and he posted how his baby he was finally able to breastfeed my baby the other day. Finally took and latched, right? And like Matt Walsh was discussing is how disgusting that is, and what's the most wrong thing about it is the fact that if you take them hormones long enough and you start to develop those breasts, like some sort of simulation of something is developing in there, right? It's some sort of simulation of like breast milk. But what it is it's this weird hormone like fucking infused, pushed out gunk that is a loose proximity of milk, and it cannot be healthy for children. It just cannot be.
All right, now listen.
And that's right. He's right. I agree. That cannot be healthy.
I agree and I disagree on that one. I don't think there's anything coming through there. There is no ducts in a male nipple. However, that's a whole nother show, dude. I could go off for another half hour on this shit, bro. I don't want to get started on it. Yeah, it's fucking wrong, dude. It's backwards. You know what it is? It's fucking degeneracy. Degenerates. They're goddamn degenerates.
Yeah.
Hey?
Okay. Yeah, sounds like a bunch of commie gobbledygook.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
No. Oh, fuck. I miss Norm Macdonald.
All right, man.
Alrighty, dude. I mean,
10 minutes.
Yeah,
I got to make some mac salad. Is there anything else you want to wrap about?
No, that's it. I think it's so insane, dude. Like, quit shoving your man tit into little babies' mouths, bro. Like, you're not breastfeeding
What the fuck
them.
is the matter with people, dude? What the fuck?
At best, they're just getting fucking sweaty man sweat tit in their mouth, and at worst, they're getting some weird fucking gelatin gunk that's being built by hormones. Like,
Can't you just wear your fucking pussy hat and stay at home?
Right? Quit doing it. Right? Quit doing it. Hey, if your husband didn't chop his tits off, he could have breastfed the baby for you. Or she could have breastfed the baby for you. Because remember, the husband is the woman.
You know, that kind of leads to the thought. I wonder if, like, she could have got, like, things, like, when she lost her boobs, like if she could have got like implant nipples.
Like, well, can that be a thing? Like, let's say,
like, does the boob actually have to be there to produce milk? I don't think so, because I've seen chicks with like no titties. All they have is nipples breastfeeding kids. You know what I'm saying?
But like that's a thing. Like, let's say you and the missus wanted to switch sexes. Could they just take her tits and put them on you? Like, I don't want my tits anymore, but he wants tits. Can I just give them to him? Can that be a thing? Like there's the thing, bro.
Play with your own nipples. I don't know.
You know?
All right, man. I gotta go. Good show, brother.
All right, buddy. All right, everybody. Till next time. Fact off.
Fact off.
Go ahead and say all of that wild shit online, man. You might need a Dr. Phil if you catch me outside. And I will not apologize if you ain't one of mine, fam. I cannot afford to give a fuck if it was finance.
Everything woke turns to shit.